again, night two, another long night for you guys. We were just talking downstairs. This is the third draft, I think, for night two, a 2-day draft, and the goal was always to get more and more efficient throughout that process. Like year one, it was kind of a shock. Year two, we kind of improved upon it, but I think we really had just a smoother operation tonight. We were intentional, and Amber kind of led the charge in making sure we reached out to other leagues, NFL, MLB, teams that hockey that have like multi-day drafts just to learn how we can be more efficient. And I think we felt that today in the room. The goal was to be more prepared and to really study the same way and attack it with the same rigor as we do day one. And I would say pretty consistently we did that tonight. The room was humming, it was moving, and people were working together. So again, thank you, Amber, Travis Schlenk as well for kind of leading that charge, because I felt we were prepared. We were aggressive, and I think everybody had a voice in being able to go get the player we wanted tonight. So we're really, really happy with the outcome. Landing Felix, someone who wants to be here to add to another developmental piece to our young core. We're really, really excited about that. So again, we've been active in every single draft we've been here. We've moved in every single draft since we've been here, and tonight was no different. We found the guy we wanted and went up and got him. So with that, I'll kind of open it up.
I will. Felix was all defense in the SEC. What stands out about his defensive talent?
What doesn't kind of stand out about his defensive talent for us? I think with him, he's got the rare ability where he's unique in that he can switch, but he also protects the rim and blocks shots and gets steals, and does it with a low foul rate for someone that protects the rim at that level. So adding that length, that size to our group is pretty impressive.
Yeah, I would just say his defensive versatility is big. He can play multiple coverages. Echoing what Will said, like the rim protection. Even if he's not blocking a shot, he's a deterrent down there, and that stands out in the defensive end for us too.
And Amber, according to his college bio, he kind of started playing basketball late, right? He grew up playing soccer. How has that sort of characterized his development and maybe the potential that is still intact?
Yeah, honestly, I just think it means there's a lot of room for him to grow as a player. He hasn't had a lot of exposure to basketball the way that others in the States grow up playing in grassroots. And I think that's fortunate for us, is that we can use the go-go to develop those skills and continue to work towards making him a better offensive player, but also refine some of the defensive stuff too.
Yeah, and I think it shows up on the defensive side, just the way he moves his feet, the quickness and how he can get in the stance and kind of move, and offensively just anticipating things. I think everybody's watching the World Cup and seeing how fast these guys are, and teamwork and decision making. So we see that, and when you talk a little bit more about his defense, like he's SEC all defense. And last year, I think it was leading the league in like block shots percentage. It was high up there. So again, he's been someone that's done it at different schools at different times and just continues to get better. And we want to add size, we want to add length, and like we told you when we first got here, we want to be known as a defensive team, and he helps with that.
Please correct me if I'm wrong, but is it accurate that he played in a drop, mostly drop coverage before he got to Tennessee, or at least until late, at least till late in his tenure at Tennessee? And if so, how did he adjust to more of a versatile type of defense?
Yeah, he's probably more comfortable in a drop, but I would say, like, if you go back and watch some like late shot clock possessions with him, he's switching on the guards and moving his feet really well, and using his length and contesting shots. And I would say that that's kind of where the transition happened for him. Is his coaches started to trust him out there more, kind of guarding on the perimeter a little bit, which I think is intriguing.
Yeah, and I think the other thing that Amber does with our coaching staff is plan our draft workouts and our draft visits to make sure we get answers from the players while we're here. So we wanted to see him in a drop, we wanted to see him switch, we wanted to put him in different defensive coverages and see how he answers those. But if I was Coach Barnes, I'd keep him in a drop and keep him near the rim too, because the guy impacted the rim on both ends. When you're shooting 73% at the rim from the field goal, and then you're top 25 in blocks, like that's pretty good. I keep him close to the rim too, but as you know, the game's evolving in the NBA. You got to be able to switch, but it gives BK options, which is really what we want to do.
What does he bring to the table offensively? It's for both of you.
Yeah, I would say he's a vertical spacer, so a lob threat, a rim runner, a play finisher, which is good for like our guards that touch the paint. He can kind of space to the dunker and finish plays for them. So I would say those are the things that stand out the most.
Yeah, I would just say to add on to that, just the overall energy and enthusiasm and some pop. I think we want to continue to double dive on who we are in terms of young, athletic, get after it type guys with motors, and he's got that.
Well, I'm wondering, just, he had multiple picks at the end of the second round, did you expect to be probably moving up at some point tonight? And I guess sort of how tricky is it to kind of make that decision at the end, in the mid to late second round, when it's kind of an exact science as to who might?
Yeah, I would think this year, we talked about being the second day and just being more prepared. We were definitely more prepared and more intentional. And they kind of took the lead on making sure that we had every situation planned out, had a plan for the plan, as we like to have it here. We probably targeted him and made many different phone calls to many different teams, kind of using what we ended up using in the trade, which hopefully will be done soon. I can talk about it a little bit more. But we knew what pieces we wanted to use to find him. But if we weren't able to do it, we had options as well. But we're very fortunate it worked out for us. And weirdly enough, tonight was a lot more busy than last night. Last night was kind of active early and kind of died a little bit, so it was good to still get the reps midway through the draft and have your attention all the way on. So again, I think tonight wasn't a dry run. Tonight was fun to kind of be back in that mode. And again, we're walking away with two players that have size, length, athleticism, want to be here and want to be a part of the community and a part of the group that's building towards sustained success. So we couldn't be happier, and we can't wait for you guys to meet them when they get here.
You mentioned some of the intangibles for Felix. Can you expand on that? You know, what you kind of gleaned about him as a person and how he approaches basketball.
You go.
Yeah, so obviously we did our research on him throughout his college career, and I would say that the thing that stood out the most about interviewing him and also interviewing some of his teammates were he was always one that was mentioned by them as like their favorite teammate, and that he was always supportive, he was always vocal, he always knew where everyone was supposed to be on the floor, and willing to communicate, and they were someone that they enjoyed his presence when they weren't in practice or playing games, and it's like those type of qualities, stand out to us as someone that's a connector amongst our group. So
My only add to that is we draft people, not just basketball players, and you spend a little bit of time with them, you know how authentic he really is, and the intel that you do, and then you bring him in between your walls, and you take him to dinner, like the character shows through. It's hard to fake that when you're here for 24, 48 hours, and he was genuine, and I think he's about the right things and fits into our environment pretty well.
Questions? Thank you.
I would say, look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow at the district debut, and welcoming AJ, and spending a little bit more time the next few days. So thank you for coming, and have a good night, guys.
Thank you.